Eric Backer, naturopath. I often get asked, what are some good recipes for Candida? I'm on a Candida cleanse. What can I really eat for dinner? What can I eat for breakfast? So for evening meal, you've got so many options. I don't really have page after page after page of recipes for you that are all designed exactly for you to make. I've got so many recipes myself, but most of the eating I do is combined around a few basic ingredients, and I think it's easy for you to do a similar kind of thing. We're quite fortunate during the COVID-19 outbreak that we grow a lot of our own food. So a lot of vegetables I will use in cooking. This time of year, I will use a lot of brassicas, so lots of broccoli, leeks, cauliflower. So a meal for me could often be just these things put in a casserole or steamed. They'll be cooked up and they'll be served either with some type of a grain dish. Now it could be a legume dish, it could be with chickpeas, or it could be with chicken or fish or beef or some type of meat protein. But the recipes I have are very basic, they're very simple, and it's not hard to cook very basic food. That's how I eat. I don't eat very complicated dishes. I'm a simple person and I like simple food, and I think that's the way it should be. And it's the same for you. If you want to get your gut and your health improved, just stick with basic fare. There are so many recipes you can find on the internet. Just make sure that these recipes don't include the typical allergens or irritants for the gut, like white flour, sugar, and things like that. You don't really want to start baking or making lots of those sort of things at the moment. Just stick with really basic recipes, meaning things that you've probably got at home right now, like vegetables, fruits, meats, things like that. You can't really go wrong, right? The only canned foods which I find are not too bad on a Candida cleanse, as I mentioned before, would be maybe canned tomatoes or some tinned fish like sardines or some tuna. But most of the other things you will not have to, you shouldn't really source in tins. So that's why it's good to make up your own meals at night from scratch. For example, I made a casserole yesterday. So it was steak. Just steak I had in the freezer, which I defrosted, which I browned up with butter and olive oil, pepper and salt, and then I took that out of the pan, those chunks. And there was of course some gravy left there. I put sliced onions in there, mixed all those up, put a tiny bit of flour in there, probably about half a tablespoon, just to sort of bind it a bit. Pepper and salt again, Worcester sauce or Worcestershire sauce, I think the Americans call it. A few bay leaves went in there. Cook it all up, throw that with the meat, and then just chuck a whole bunch of veggies in, and that's a casserole basically. Add a little bit more water. It's simple to make good food. Eggs are easy to cook, meat's easy to cook, vegetables are easy to steam. You can also grill things. So yeah, but have a good look online, but try and keep the sugar out of the recipes if you can. Try and keep the artificial flavorings and colors and packets of soup packet mixes and junk like that. Try and keep them out. Just basic plain fare. And while you're at it, put some fresh herbs and spices in there, or some dried stuff. Okay, especially good for Candida cleanse, particularly if you're going to use garlic and ginger. All the ingredients I've spoken about quite a lot. Lots of different types of spices you could add, like clove, for example. You could put cardamom in there. There's so many things you can add. Check it out online. Thanks for tuning in.